1987, the best soccer player in the world would be born. This is for Lionel Messi, who is currently 27 years old and playing for the Barcelona club located in Spain. Born to win. Born in Argentina, where he grew up playing soccer until his life changed at the age of 13. Messi's dad was a supervisor at a local firm, while his mother worked part-time as a house cleaner. When he was 13, he was unusually smaller than other kids. He was then diagnosed with a growth hormone problem. Messi had unbelievable talent at his age, and he was better than both of his older brothers. At the age of 5, Messi started playing with a local club, coached by his own father. By the time he was 8, he was playing with a big club called the Newell's Old Boys. Unfortunately, Messi was diagnosed with a growth hormone when he was 11. This condition is caused due to deficiency of growth hormone, which is produced by a gland. He is not offered any help by any local club. Barcelona's sporting director at the time was informed by young Lionel Messi talent, and grateful agreed to take him if his parents moved to Spain, which he later did, moved to Spain with his parents. At his new life, the first record he broke was he broke the Spanish league, which is the La Liga record, the youngest player playing for the league. And he was the youngest player to play with them and the youngest one to score. Messi's career kick-started at the year 2000 when he played for the junior system ranks. Within a short time, he became the only player to play in 5 different teams. By the time he was 17, he was playing with the Argentina youth team where they won the 2015 World Youth Championship. And Messi was announced the top scorer. In 2006, he became the youngest Argentinian to play for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. In 2007 season, Messi was no longer the substitute. He found himself in the starting 11 squad. 2009 was a successful year for Messi. He has not only won his first European league, but helped his team win the Spanish league and the Championship League. In 2011, 12, and 13, he was the best player of all years, 3 years in a row. Enough of him, now me. Although I didn't diagnose with such a hormone, but I was certainly smaller than other kids my age and my grade. Getting bullied on the and off the field didn't stop me from doing what I love. I started playing as soon as I could walk. Playing with both of my brothers, neighbors, and friends, I began to love the sport more and more. I started playing with a local club when I was 9 years old. Because of how small I am, I wasn't getting enough time on the field. Then I decided to play with the school soccer team. I began with me being the smallest one on the field, scored my first goal, and won my first match. Receiving my first medal by the 6th grade not only made me proud, but also my friends and brothers. In the 7th grade, me and my classmates won the medal, the school championship, and I earned my first cup. Standing at only 5 foot 7 inches and 27 years old, he already won 4 Player of the Year awards. Lionel Messi is an unbelievable icon and was truly changed by the way the world views soccer. For the time being, Messi is still playing with the Barcelona club, and he is playing like he did when he first began professionally. Lionel Messi is not only a super soccer player, but a great role model as well as people who don't believe in the impossible.
Back in the day, he was a hip-hop icon. He sold out concerts and countless hits. Even though his life was cut short, his music still lives on. His music will continue to keep heads nodding and people dancing. So if you don't know, now you know. I'm talking about the Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Notorious B.I.G. Wallace was born on May 21st, 1972 in Brooklyn, New York. He lived with his single mother because his father rarely came around. In the neighborhood of Bedford,
Stuyvesant.
Christopher was surrounded by drugs and dealers. Everything happened at the strip where I grew up. It didn't matter where you went. I was always in your picked on his school because his weight in his clothes, Christopher decided that he needed to make some money. Christopher began to sell drugs around the neighborhood, mostly parts where his mother would never spot him. At the age of 17, Christopher was arrested for possession of crack. While in prison, Christopher began to start writing his notebook. Some say it was writing lyrics, some say that he was writing poetry. He said he just wrote down stuff that he felt. After Biggie got out of prison, he started recording. So he was introduced to Puff Daddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs. Sean was later fired from his recent record label, and it gave Christopher an idea of no hope. After losing hope, Biggie almost faced more jail time for possession of a firearm. Lucky Christopher's friend took the rap for him so he can continue with his music. After a while, Sean used his connections with Biggie to get him gigs. Soon after, Sean collected other artists and started his own label, Bad Boy Records. In 1994, Sean helped Biggie release his first album, Ready to Die. One day while at the photo shoot of Bad Boy, he met Faith Evans. She was an R&B singer for Bad Boy. Later on in the relationship, they decided to get married and settle down. One day in Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan, one of Biggie's close friends, Tupac Shakur, went in a recording session and was robbed and shot in the lobby. Tupac trusted no one after the shooting, and he even blamed Biggie. Since Tupac accused Biggie of shooting, Biggie decided to pit on diss songs. In 1996, Tupac was shot and killed in a drive-by in Las Vegas. A year after the shooting, Christopher went to California to promote his last album, Life After Death. While leaving an after party from after the Soul Train Music Awards, Christopher George Latour Wallace was shot and killed in the passenger seat of an SUV. Some similarities about me and Biggie is that I used to be, kind of fat kid in elementary school, and I was teasing after all that. And then one summer, my doctor had recommended that I lose weight, so that's what I did. And then after that summer, a lot of kids that I saw in my 5th grade class didn't actually recognize me in 6th grade. While in prison, Biggie had wrote in his notebook. It was more like poetry than anything. One semester when I was in English class, we were supposed to write poems. And we all wrote poems, and then I guess mine stood out more than everyone else's. So my English teacher asked could she give mine to the yearbook committee to see if they would actually like it. And they had published it in that yearbook that year. I had the conclusion too. Even though the Notorious B.I.G. had lived a rough life, he still managed to inspire many people, including myself. After seeing that he had to go through the same ridicule in his childhood as I did, no matter what anyone else says, you guys still continue to be yourself. Although his life was cut short, he will continue to keep heads nodded and people dancing.
Anger, discouragement, to wisdom, ambition, love, and salvation. These are the qualities of a virtuous woman life experience. This is my spiritual mother. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, Liz was raised in a godly environment with 5 brothers, 2 deceased, and 1 sister. There was 7 of them in all. Her father was very strict and only had a 3rd grade education, but he went very far in life. He always taught her and her siblings never to limit yourself. If he could do it with a 3rd grade education, then they could go further with a full one. Liz always had a great relationship with her parents. In school, she never had a problem with her grades, up until she got into mid-grade. She did French and geometry, where she contained a D. That was her first time ever failing in school. Later, she moved to Texas to live with people that she didn't know. She had no family there. She lived with a lady who tried to discourage her and control her. The lady told her that she did not hear God's voice, even though she knew she could. She later tried to convince her to move to a place where God didn't want her. Although she refused, the lady insisted that she go. Later, the lady had somebody else, a different lady, come and take her to the spot. When they arrived, the doors were not open. Eventually, she moved down on a Section 8. She cleaned various buildings while doing custodian work. It taught her responsibility. When she was 33, she became serious with her walk with God. It was not an easy walk, although she had a lot of people discouraging her and manipulating her. On top of that, the lady she lived with was confusing her. It was harder for her because she did not have the guidance I had at the time. She finally caught a break when she started going to a different church. There were people she met there that let her know that she did hear God's voice, and He did love her. She learned the spirit of humility through a wise and humble man of God. She currently goes to International College Bible of Theology. The International College of Bible of Theology is a prophet, evangelist, religious organization founded on 1999. Growing up, there were 7 of us, me and my brothers and sisters. There were 5 girls and there were 2 boys. I was not raised in a God-fearing environment. My mother, she was very abusive to me and my brothers and sisters. We went through a lot dealing with my mother. My father, he was home, but he wasn't home. He was there enough, like Liz's father, to encourage us to stay the right path, to do what was right. Even though we had such a hard life, he still encouraged us to do it. Life was not easy for me. At 14, we got evicted from our house. I bounced around from state to state. Like Liz, I had no family. Once I came back here and I went to Richmond, Virginia, I was staying with a guy, and he also used to tell me that I did not hear God's voice and I would be nothing. He ended up going to North Carolina on the day of my baptism, and he left me there. He was with another woman. That discouraged me a lot and had me unfaithful of what God was doing in me, because my focus was somewhere else. I later found a church that taught me love, which is agape, genuine love, and how to not listen to what people say, not to listen to that discouragement, not to listen to people saying that the love God has for me was not faithful. Even though I wanted to give up and I stumbled a lot, like we all do, I still held on to God's promise, like she did. At the end of the day, that's all we have. Every day is a new opportunity for growth and development. That is a part of our destiny that leads into our purpose. It's a daily life tool that we need. Don't let the purpose be abandoned due to wrong choices.